And now, the Kill or Be Killed podcast with Damian Ross, founder and master instructor of the Self-Defense Company.
And we are here.
We're having podcast issues, though, too. This podcast brought to you by two idiots who can't understand technology.
Zero knowledge whatsoever.
So
Zero.
that's fucking fantastic. So
yeah, good stuff. So, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. We've been going through a series of training with the group. Well,
some local ladies. We have been doing self-protection workshops, and I mean, it's been fucking awesome. The turnout has been pretty good. Can't complain about it all. I mean, anytime you can get some people coming out for it, I mean, that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So this session that we just did this past Sunday, or Sunday, whatever the fuck the date was. Anyways, it was Saturday evening, 2-hour session. And, it's interesting, right? Because I always start by saying, we're going to get real in here. We're going to talk about a lot of things. I might be a little colorful. I'm not going to pull any fucking punches or anything. If you have any kind of past trauma that maybe you haven't fully dealt with, there might be stuff in here that's triggering. So it may be best to, excuse yourself before. I give full fucking disclaimer before, right?
Right, sure. But again, you don't know. It's like, I'm like, okay, but you don't know what's going to trigger somebody, right?
Well, that's exactly it.
They don't.
So I let people know ahead of time, look, we're going to be talking about certain things, as far as domestic abuse, rape, we're going to talk about these things. So if these are things that might set you off, or we're going to get physical. If you don't want to get on the ground, and you don't want to be grabbed because it might trigger you today, right? Excuse yourself. So, I
mean, you bring up an important point with people who are teaching, any type of contact sport or martial art. Some people coming in, while they may expect to be grabbed or not, they may not like it. I mean,
yeah.
So you've seen those I've seen reactions of people that are just, you touch their face or you touch it, and they're just like, I can't do this.
I had a woman actually break down years ago. Actually, I went for a fucking choke against the wall, and she completely broke down because I didn't realize that happened to her. So now I'm like, you know what?
But to be fair, you stopped dating her after that.
Yeah, this is not going to work out. I need a rougher.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy fuck. But I mean, so I go through with this, and I actually prefaced it a couple times, right? Because I just want to drive home the fact that, look, we're going to get fucking real in here, right? This is not a wristy fucking grabby fucking, throw a punch fucking seminar, right? So anyways, all the women are like, no problem. So I noticed that there's one woman there, and she's got her 12, I didn't know her daughter was 12 years old, 12 turning 13, right? They made it about 15 minutes before they had to walk out.
Oh, really? Holy shit.
Oh yeah. Just in the first fucking discussions, right? And as she was leaving,
what made her finally get up, you think? Because she probably heard something and then was like, oh no. Then she's working on making the decision to get out of there.
Well, what ended up happening as she was walking out, because I was still talking to the group, right? So she told the host, she's like, my daughter's only 12, turning 13. This is too much for her. And that I found that really interesting, because we talk about people having, their heads in the ground and, not accepting that could ever happen to them and having that sort of victim mentality. And because we were talking about the realities of violence, how it's not the whole, it's not the guy at 2:00 in the morning hiding in the fucking bushes. It's the people that you possibly know, the people that you trust, the people that you love. And we were talking
over 85%, is somebody you know.
Yeah. So we're talking about it, and it was too much for her. And I found that really fucking interesting. I wanted to talk about that today with you, because 12, 13, I mean, when I was 12, 13, times were a little bit different, but I was still getting the shit that I shouldn't have been getting into. And kids today are exposed to so much more, whether it's through fucking social media, whether it's through just the media in general. I think that it's super important for these, kids to be aware, because they're the ones that are out running into these things a lot more now.
Especially that age, because you're starting to get a lot more independent. You're going into town by yourself. You're doing other things where you're like, okay, if there's a problem, you call. Start, my kids say, my daughter started carrying pepper spray back then, and by the time she carries it all the time. My son, I don't think so. He's got it, but I just, she is very, 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 very hyper aware. I mean, obviously growing up with me as her dad, even if whatever training was minimal or done or however much we did, it was always a topic of conversation, so, yeah, you've got to these kids that are 12 is that age, they're venturing out on their own. They're becoming independent.
And I think, Damien, the conversation is, as instructors, at what point do we no longer, sugarcoat shit for people? I don't think we should be sugarcoating at all, but I mean, as a parent, as a father, if you were taking an 11, 12, 13-year-old daughter to a self-protection class, would you want her to be exposed to the real realities of shit, or would you want it a little bit more?
Yeah, I would want her to see what is potentially out there. As long as the guy wasn't perverse or said things that were graphic in nature as far as from the sexual side, right? Like,
I can't promise I didn't.
If a guy puts his cock in your mouth, I'd probably walk out then and be like, dude, there's so many other ways you could phrase that. It's like if you have something near your mouth, bite it, right? That's all you need to that's all you need to say. It could be any part of the body.
Yep.
We got it. We're good. It's, the delivery of that is part of it, but they have to also kind of be a little scared shitless and understand that, look, if I got a guy who's like 50, 60 pounds heavier than me or more on me, and I'm a woman, I'm going to, it's going to be very difficult for me to try to get this person off of me, and doing some techniques. I mean, even if you're trained in, let's say, Brazilian jiu-jitsu or wrestling or judo, which you have a far better chance of doing that, it's very, very, it's still very, very difficult, even if the guy you're facing is not trained at all. So, when you're down there, they got to feel and understand that, and they've got to know that, okay, I got to go for an eye, I got to bite, I got to get my feet involved here and push them off. I got to, if I'm not carrying a weapon on me, it's going to be a lot harder. So they have to know, and also hopefully it prevents them from putting themselves in situations where something like that could happen. Like if they're feeling uneasy about a guy, maybe they cut it off before they go into the bedroom or go into the living room or go into the house, because now they realize like, hey, I'm going in here, and now there's going to be, if there's a problem in here, it's a bigger problem for me.
Yep.
So any other feedback from that woman or the person who was promoting the seminar?
So the one who promoted the event and all the other women absolutely loved it. The comments after were actually thanking me for challenging them to think differently, because their perception was, with self-protection, it's, what do I do when I'm already grabbed? What do I do when I'm already in the situation? And I'm explaining to them, first of all, if you're in the situation, you've already fucked up. So let's take a giant step back so that we can deal with, all of the pre-conflict issues and all those things to look out for, which they really appreciated. And then I said, the other thing too is anything that I show you today means absolute fucking squat if you don't have the right mindset in order to actually use it and understand your capacities versus capabilities, right? So we went into a lot of the talking about that. They really, really enjoyed that. The last thing that we did, which was kind of awesome, was I took one of the girls. I said, okay, I need, a braver volunteer. So I made her get down on her back. And then I had one of the other women just get on top of her and said, now I want you to just yell, scream, and try and fight her off while the other woman just holds you down. That's all. And just see how long you last. And I held my stopwatch, and she was gassed out in about 7 or 8 seconds, right? Maybe 9 seconds. But she was laughing. They were laughing. And I said, look, I lied to you. I said, I'm about to stress you out. I got on top of the poor girl.
Right.
and I said, now fight me. Like, it hit me. And she was trying to hit me as hard as she could. I'm holding her hair. I'm pulling her hair around. I'm just kind of in front of the other women, just showing, right? Yeah. And she was just like, holy fuck, there's nothing that I would have been able to do. I said, exactly. And I don't want to hurt you. And like, she was hitting as hard as she could into my body, my head, and I couldn't feel a thing, right? Because of adrenaline. Because I'm doing that. I'm also obviously adrenalized while going through this, she's adrenaline, so she thinks she's hitting so fucking hard, and it essentially feels like love taps. And
Nothing.
and that was a real eye opener for the women to actually realize that the ground is the worst fucking place.
Yeah, and the fact that they don't carry like a T-handle dagger, a push dagger, or something, you need that. We'll do stuff, and you can train stuff if you can catch an eye, or you can do that. But once somebody's like on you and bashing your head off the ground, it's fucking over. I'd like to sit there and tell you that, if you do this, this, and this, you'll be fine. And I used to be one of those guys. Right? We all did. We all went through martial arts training. We all did self-defense and martial arts training. And look, oh yeah, it's going. The guys, and you're like mildly attacking her, right? And they are, you gotta look. So if you don't think it's important enough for you to like have a neck knife on you, right? Or to have something tucked in your belt that you can at least start stabbing somebody and at least get the blood clock clicking, when they're, okay, now they start to bleed out. Now at least you have something that can, that's working for you.
That's
so
right.
Eventually they're gonna have to deal with it because at first, you start stabbing them, they may or they may not feel it. It's like, it could be a pinch, it could feel like a little burn, their body's gonna go into shock. So, unless you hit like a major artery where they start, your blood pressure drops and they're done, it's going to take a little bit. It's going to take multiple wounds. So at least at that point, you've injured them severely enough where they're going to need medical attention, and that's going to be a problem for them. So, the upside is, though, if it's a case of sexual assault with somebody, the majority, like Bernie had the had all the studies, and I've got them compiled. It's like over 90% of the time when women actually resist, they stop the assault, because it starts like, because a lot of these times these guys thinking, oh, she really wants it, she's just saying no. And then they're getting a little forceful, and then they're getting aggressive, and then they get inappropriate, and then it kind of brings them into a little reality. Unless it's like, again, if it's like a sociopath or something like that, then it's a little different. But that's why I said that's like the 10% of the time. So most of the times when somebody they know, unless the person is a complete, evil piece of shit, they're gonna wind up stopping it. And that's the good part about any resistance training, because someone's gonna pick you mainly because they don't think you're gonna fight back, right? In general, or not fight back well. And once you decide to do something, it changes their calculus. They have to, rethink the risk versus reward, and then, go from there. So yeah, that's like, and that's what people need to understand. That's why, again, on some level, all types of any type of self-defense training is good, because it teaches you to pay attention, at least on some level, even though you may not be doing it to the best of your potential. But then the point of resisting and fighting back is really, it does a lot. It does something. You don't have to fucking throw them over your head, or bring them down to the ground, or make them fucking tap, or any other bullshit.
But it was interesting, right? Because she got to express how she felt to the women after, like, with the level of stress, knowing that I wasn't trying to hurt her, but the fact that I had that control. I was pulling her hair back. I was, moving my hands like down by her leg and back up, that kind of thing. Like, she felt completely powerless, right? So she said, had that been in an uncontrolled environment, it would have been absolutely. And it's awesome she uses the term like uncontrolled environment. I'm like, y'all don't fucking know me, right? Just because I have a website doesn't mean I know some fucking rape.
Right.
Look on Facebook. What the fuck, right?
Right.
But like, that was good. And then one woman who speaks up, and she's like, well, I did, judo years ago, and the instructor talked about, if they're on top of, bucking your hips and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, look, there's some value to that, but I'm like, would you like to try? Let me get on top of you. Would you like to try? And she's like, no. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
But, yeah, I mean, you got to train it. Yeah. One, and bucking the hips is like, we do it only to create space and get you off balance, and then maybe to catch you or to get an eye or to get you to put your hands down so we can gouge you or bite you. It's a part of, a whole, litany of things that you're going to do to try to create space to get them to get their weight off you a little bit. And this is like worst case, best case, what's going to give you the best chance. It's not a guarantee for fucking success by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't want, and I drive this home in all of our teaching, where you're like, this is like what you can possibly do, right?
Yep.
Now, if it works, okay, the chances of it working are very slim. So you need to understand that if you don't arm yourself in any way, you're gonna get into shit quick when you get pulled down on the ground.
But so overall, huge success. Women had a great time. They're wanting to do another one with a bigger group. Like, they absolutely fucking love it. But the comment of the day fucking went to this woman. She must have been like, I don't know, in her late 40s, early 50s. And I'm talking about awareness and everything. And I'm like, look, if you look like fucking food, you're gonna get eaten. And she speaks up and she's like, I'm a hamburger. I just fucking broke up. Right? All the other fucking women are laughing. I'm like, you fucking perverted bitches. Like,
right, exactly. Nice.
Best comment. Best fucking comment of the whole class. So
nice. Yeah.
But I'm gonna have that done as a shirt for her.
Right. I'm a hamburger.
Right.
All right.
And on the back, if you look like food, you're gonna get eaten.
Holy shit, man. That's fucking great.
Oh, she was fucking fantastic. But
great.
Yeah, it was good. So we, like I said, we did 2 hours. The first 45 minutes was the non-physical responses, right? And then we get into the physical side. And they really, really enjoyed that. By the end of it, they were all obviously hitting a little harder, feeling a little bit more, comfortable. I got one to hit a little hard by probably shouldn't have fucking did it, but I broke it out anyways. I'm like,
right.
I'm sitting here with the fucking pad and everything. I hit her upside the head. I'm like, come on, fucking hit me, you cunt.
Oh, Jesus.
Like that. And I'm looking around like, oh, well, I guess, that's okay. I'm still here. They haven't all attacked me. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun, a lot of fucking fun. So we're going to keep doing these in the new year. I'm going to actually be teaching out of that gym, doing some kind of regular stuff for them.
Right. Okay.
So fucking, it's a sad state in Barrie when like I'm the fucking voice of reason.
Yeah. That's a fucking problem.
We're all fucking good.
So yeah, we are whatchamacallit? I was gonna say about the book. I just got the book is like in production, it's being done. I should have a copy this month. I'm gonna put you on the list to get a free book. And
well, I've known you for fucking how many years? I hope I
right,
got fucking,
right.
I should have got the fucking what do you call that in the beginning? The little preface where you fucking thank people. You didn't fucking thank me, did you?
Yeah, I did, asshole.
Oh,
go fuck yourself. Yeah, fuck you now.
You're gonna take it out.
Of course I did, douchebag. So yeah.
I'm oh fuck. Oh, now I feel all fucking. Oh
yeah, good. You should feel bad. Feel bad, cocksucker. Son of a bitch. Bullshit. So yeah,
was it bolded?
Right, exactly. Oh shit. So yeah, so anyway, along with the training, let's talk about the leaderboard.
Yes.
Okay, so we just added this, so you'll see I've got like 1,000 points already. So here it is. It's located here. I'm going to have him make this button black and yellow, so it's going to stand out. But you'll be able to get to this from any place on, you go to training programs, but, you go to the main page. It's like here. Here you go.
Perfect.
All right. So, yeah, so we can see, now it's starting to populate with people who have been training in the last, like, 24 hours, not even. So essentially we're going to wind up giving, once I kind of see how fast people progress and how many points they actually get, I'm going to have different awards for different levels of points. And then we'll give away prizes. We'll give away, titles and badges and things like that. So, you'll see that, a basic training unit's like 10 points. Once they complete a course, it's 30 points. If they can, now the instructor training units are more points. They're 30 points. Workout of the week is 40. Once they complete a module, it's 50. An instructor program, once a module is complete, they get 50 as well.
So I guess what's going to happen is people are going to notice now that when they log in and they access their programs, they're going to notice that everything is no longer. It's like it's been reset. It's not checked off as marked as.
No, I didn't do that yet. Do that yet. But if they want it reset, I can do it individually. Like they just have to post a comment, right underneath in the how-to section. If they post a comment here, like please reset me, then we can do it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's no problem. And then we may wind up, depending on how active we get, resetting everybody every month and just being like, fuck it, here you go.
Yep.
So because if the leaderboard gets, because if you get if people max out on points, then this will be max points. I mean, I'm imagining, I didn't count everything that I did, but there's so much content on here and we keep adding it. So, if they keep doing the workouts of the week and they come in, then, they'll just keep getting more points and more active.
Exactly.
Because, what's frustrating is because we have so much shit on here. I don't think people realize the value, of what they have. So maybe they watch one video like, it's all right. I'm like, dude, you got to go around. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. Something's going to hit you the right way. Some shit may just hit you the wrong way. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people that sign up that are like looking to just say why they don't like it because they want to make themselves feel better, which is, whatever. That's their own problem. So, this, at least, prompts them to go through and take a look at different shit and be like, oh, wow, okay, I didn't look at that yet. I didn't go there. And plus, if there's something, the site, sometimes there's like one of the links maybe broke. I mean, there's so much stuff on here. I don't audit it at all. I mean, if it's, if there's like a video link that's broken or whatever, just post a comment underneath and, I'll just go in there and fix it. It's not a problem. So the other thing I want you to do is audit the instructor program.
Okay.
So just take it section at a time. There's stuff that's there that's out of date. We got to get rid of it. We just got to update it and think about what other stuff we want to add on there. Even the manual. I mean, obviously don't do this. It's not going to happen in a day, but take some time during the week just to kind of go through the instructor section and be like, okay, this is broken. This is broken. You can even post a comment underneath whatever's broken or you want to get deleted. And then I'll just go in and delete it. So you don't need to be putting a report together. You just need to post a comment. Right. So, just be like, hey, this section should be updated or, whatever. That'll be that. So yeah, this is it's exciting to get this thing rolling. You can see the guy who actually built the courseware or the tech, he's at number 4. So, now that people know this, I think people also get a little concerned because if they think they mark a unit as complete, that they don't get to watch it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I've said that 100 times on the site. I say it all over the place. So I don't know, how else to do that, unless they're, look, and I get if they're once you get through something, just mark it complete, and then you could keep your pace and see exactly where you are, but, don't not mark it complete. Because there's a lot of people that just don't. I mean, and this will actually keep track of now. Once you go through these things, you can take the quizzes, or if the course doesn't have a quiz, you can just download the certificate. And then the difference between course completion certificates and
student ranks. Yep.
Student ranks are, the difference between reading a book and actually taking the test. So if you go to if you go to if you go to like a school, school, I mean, this is like, that's where we actually physically check you, right? So now the workouts of the week are going to be going through everything in the first 12. It's basically the first 10 grades, pretty much. That's the goal, to go through all the grades, and then they're going to exactly get the proficiency test exam. So it shows you exactly what you need to do. And then when you go in this thing, you can register, download a copy of the exam here, which is going to bring you to, yeah, great, fine. Here's a copy of the exam. All right. I'm going to just say, hold on, sharing this tab instead. Okay, go back. Where are you? Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, I gotta highlight this. So then they'll go to register here for their grade 1 exam.
Yep.
Once they do that, we'll assign them an instructor, and then they take their test. And they can do it by either video submission or live in person, and they get 2 shots to do it. So it's literally, this is just the same as if you're going to a school and training in person. Now they can do it live with an instructor. That's great too. But now it's like, here it is. Here's how you should train for this. Here's how you should practice for this. Here's exactly what we're going to want to see in the exam. Go.
Now, if they are recording it to send it to us, have we told them how to do that?
Well, they could record it and just upload it on YouTube or wherever.
Yeah, YouTube as like a private link or whatever, and then make sure that we
get the link. That's going to be between the instructor and the student.
Yep.
Right, and the instructor is going to say, "Okay, they passed. Here's your certificate," and then we put them on the rank list.
Yeah.
And then
I'm always telling people either YouTube with a private link or upload it to Google Drive and then share that link with me.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, and yeah, I think that's it. So again, really, getting people, more interactive, giving them a little bit more guidance, and I think, at the time, we've been doing this for a fucking decade. So, let's just start adding some easy new content on there. And, yeah, that's it. Start, kicking it again. So,
yeah, I like that. I like the leaderboard. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah. I mean, now it's like adding a gaming element to what we're doing, and they can actually see, oh wow, it's people are seeing it. I'm trying to see if we can get a couple more features out of it, but worst case scenario, I'll manually I'm thinking like if somebody reaches like 5,000 points, they're at like Legion. Then it's like, Centurion or Emperor, and then adding like, once they get above like 20,000, 10,000, 20,000 points, we can award them badges and ranks to put on their profiles. So
self-defense god.
Yeah, like I can even go in and like, we can just like, here's a profile, here's a pic to put on your profile. I could just have Leo do it over there and just be like, yeah.
And then we can kind of showcase those people too, do up a little, spotlights on them. And
yeah, for sure. And again, naturally, getting them, people want to get certified, and then we want them to teach. We want them to spread the truth out there. So, yeah. So that's it. So what do you got going on this weekend?
This weekend is our Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
That's the fake Thanksgiving to you Americans.
Right.
That's right. And then next weekend I've got that private lesson with the mother and her daughter, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, cool.
Their younger daughter, so I already know ahead of time that I have to be PG George and not fucking R-rated.
Right. Exactly.
So I'll be working on that ahead of time, because you know what happens. I get into the little fucking groove, like just die right now, and then all of a sudden
you start getting right. Yeah, man, you get into your mode and you're feeling it, right? You're passionate. So it's like, yeah, this is I can't worry about measuring my words so much because it's, I'm speaking from the heart.
Yep.
And
it's
that's where
it's frustrating because you're dealing with people who've had exposure to other instructors who, I don't want to say fucking lied to them, but pretty much fucking lied to them, right? Like really did a job of sugarcoating and not really talking about the true realities of what people are going to fucking face. And for me, the worst thing that I could do is not give people the truth.
it fucking infuriates us. When I, see like, instructors like, yeah, look, it's magic. It works. And the fucking girl. And so what you do is you have somebody, I mean, like I was watching some other guy posted and he's got these women just throwing body punches into a tie pad. Right. And they're just standing there punching the body. I'm like, that's not going to do anything at all. And he's like, oh, good job. Great job. Some bullshit. And then occasionally you'll see something mixed in there that could possibly work. Right. But it's so filled in with other nonsense and bullshit that you're wasting everybody's time. And they're walking away with this insanely false sense of confidence.
Yes.
That what they're going to have is going to work. And the problem is, like we said, it's like if you think you're prepared for everything, sometimes you're going to let shit happen that, you'll be like, if he gets out of control, I can handle him. That kind of bullshit. When in reality, it's like, it gets out of control, you are screwed, dude. I mean, you're done.
Yeah.
It's way too late and you're way in over your head. And that's the problem. I'm like, I can't even, like in the dummies book, I'm like, I can't even stress. I'm like, avoid the ground as possible.
Yeah.
They let me talk about weapons. They let me do all that stuff. They let me, but I'm like, the fact is, it's like, if you're down here, I'm like, you're going to get fucking smashed.
I mean, I've heard instructors, in other systems that have been like, well, if you find yourself in some kind of fucking close quarters and you're grappling, pull them down to the fucking ground. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? But they're saying, yeah, like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah, it's fucking, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. And, but nothing's been tested. Nothing's been, thought about. It's like, it's like they're just, they've been fed. The problem is they've been fed a line of shit.
Yes.
Right. I mean, and it's like this, it's like this, I'm going to put it, it's like untested knowledge that gets passed down generation from generation. So they've been taught something by their instructor, and look, they never even thought about it or really even, they haven't reflected against reality of what it could be based on, especially if you're teaching a grappling art, right? If you're teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and you have somebody coming in there, I mean, look, I'm not going to say there aren't women that can't use it to defend themselves, or some badass women who are strong, but they are the exception, not the rule. I mean, you're going to teach somebody a self-defense technique, right? Then you're going to go like spar, and they're not going to be able to move. They're not even going to be able to get into a position where they can actually apply their technique, right?
Yeah.
And the other problem is, most of the times it's women defending themselves against women in these things. At least you gave, some realism by being a guy. Like, look, this is what it's going to be like. So here we go. Not their friend who's like, starting in that with your friend is fine. It's a good way to kind of break the ice and get comfortable with the idea of, having to defend yourself and, using, violence, if you will, to stay safe. Right. But then as you move into it, you got to have, guys, you got to have, you got to start kind of, attacking with intensity. That's why we like using the training dummies and the pads, because you fucking go at that thing as fast and as hard as possible. And and as you realized before, she lasted 7 seconds on the ground. Yeah, it's fucking, it's a energy.
It's not a good thing. Yeah, it's not a good fucking place.
It's brutal. Holy shit. So yeah. So yeah. And then so good. That's what's going on with you. I am at the end of a 3-day fast.
Oh,
So,
that explains why you were fucking short tempered yesterday. How does this thing work? Well, just click the fucking link.
yeah, no, that was like when you're sitting there asking me and I send you a goddamn link, the least you could do is click it and fucking look at it.
But I did follow up immediately. I'm like, oh, never mind. I just click the link, and you're like,
yeah, no
link.
shit. It's got what points are for what. Son of a bitch. So yeah,
I just didn't want to go in because I knew what would happen. I'm like, as soon as I fucking go into this goddamn thing, I'm gonna sit and start watching videos so I can accumulate fucking points.
Of course you are.
An hour later, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Right. So I'm at, like I said, I'm at 1,020. I was testing some courses and stuff like that. If you see stuff that's on there, you know, that you're going through too, like I said, post a comment and be like, hey, I didn't get points for this because I know I missed shit. There's like hundreds of freaking units, you know, and like 30 something courses. So, you know, I'm imagining, you know, somebody can get easily like, you know, 5,000 points, you know, 6,000 points. I don't even know. I didn't even calculate it. So that could be the max. So yeah. So, you know, and then my son's coming home from college for a few days next week. So that's cool. We're excited about that. And then we're getting into the holidays, man.
Yeah, fuck already. Hard to fucking believe.
So, you know, so yeah, I got to do a little working on a bunch of shit today and doing we got some massive PR hitting this last quarter. So we've been working on this since July. And now it's starting to kind of come in. We're going to be in Police One, NRA, American Rifleman, U.S. Concealed Carry Association, and that just, you know, it's both. Those are primarily bodyguard, but there's also self-defense pickups. And now I just got all the PR for self-defense for dummies. So I handed that over to them as well. And then that'll push the brand out there. So, you know, we're having some fun.
Lots of good shit, man.
Yep. All right. So I think that's it, everybody. George, thanks as always. And everybody, till next time, train honestly.